If you've got $100 in your pocket and you want to know what are some of the best pocket knives you can get your hands on right now, this list is for you. David C. Anderson here, coming at you from the Knife Center, and this is our top 10 list of the best EDC folding knives you can get under $100. So let me just say right off the bat that this task of whittling down to just a top 10 in this price range is more impossible now than it has ever been. Right now on the site, we've got almost 6,000 active part numbers in this price range. And most of them are pretty darn good. Several of them, many of them are pretty great as well. So to make it a little bit easier, we're actually just going to concentrate on the $50 to $100 price range. We're going to do another $50 and under video later on. So these are going to be a little bit on the higher end in this spectrum. And there's going to be some things you might expect. There's also going to be some things that might have flown under your radar. That's the advantage of us being able to see so many new products, is we get to see stuff that is worthy of attention, but just for one reason or another, they might not get it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to kind of look through nowadays, and certain things catch fire, and that's great. But what about some of the other stuff? Let's get into the list. Ranked from 10 to 1. We're gonna count it down, or count it up, I guess. Let's go. We're gonna start off with what we think is the best button lock flipper under $100 right now. And it's a new brand for us here at the Knife Center, and that's North Mountain Blades. This is the Chop 2. And it is earning its position because of the amount of fit and finish you get and just how cool the blade itself is right here. These start at about $80. They go up from there. A few options, including this one, sit right at the $100 mark. You've got an SLD Magic blade, and while that may sound a little fancy or a little kind of gimmicky even, what it is, it's a proprietary tool steel with really high edge retention and pretty good toughness as well. And you get a laminated Sanmei or Sanmai style construction with a faux hamon and really nicely done finishes on the blade. Very precise, very higher end feeling, and it just feels, as a blade, honestly, as special as it gets under this $100 price point. It feels extra special, more special than anything else we've got on the table anyway too. Plus it's a cool knife. 3.5-inch blade, Tonto profile with a hollow grind here at the back and flat grind at the front. G10 handles with just enough sculpting. There are some fancier versions available too, but those do go up over $100. Finger safe closing action with that button lock mechanism and nice flipping action to boot. This knife gives you a good set of features and a very capable size for getting real work done while feeling like you're getting more than your money's worth, for sure. So while North Mountain Blade is a representation of the new school, this right here is the old guard staying competitive. This is the Buck 112 Slim Ranger Pro TRX. It's a bit of a mouthful, but what it is Buck Knives still offering a competitive product to a lot of these imports with a US made option right here. It takes the same profile and classic lockback of the OG 112 Ranger and brings it up to kind of modern sensibilities. First off, you've got a particle steel blade, S30V here, offering very nice edge retention and pretty decent toughness, giving you an upgrade over their standard stainless options. You've also got a much slimmer profile when viewed top down, so it's not as chunky if you wanted to carry this in your pocket. Those old ones would be a bit of a boat anchor. This one sits nice and flat, and you've got a deep carry pocket clip to keep it handy, and it's reversible too. You've also got adjustable screw together construction, dual thumb studs for ambidextrous opening, and the only other kind of tweak to the classic profile is you've got a straight line here as opposed to the more aggressive clip point. Makes it a little more generic, or not generic, makes it a little more adaptable for most folks' EDC, I think, rather than being a more dedicated hunting shape. Fantastic knife. So this next knife is emblematic of the modern EDC folder crossbar locking genre, and that's the Kershaw Iridium, coming in at about $65 for the full-size version right now. But it feels a bit more expensive. It doesn't feel like it's just a $65 knife. Most of that, I think, is down to the aluminum handles here that are done just very nicely. It's not a slick or slippery texture going on. It feels like it's a bit more, which is nice. And the nice, crisp, precise grinds on the blade certainly elevate that as well. 3.4 inches on that D2 steel, a drop point blade for versatility and usability, but it's a distinctive shape at the same time. Kind of a hard trick to pull off. It's got plenty of handle length right there. The crossbar locking mechanism here gives you finger safe closing. And with the KVT ball bearings in the pivot here, really addicting action as well. It just feels really, really nice. You can get a smaller 3-inch bladed version. You can get a modified sheep's foot or Warncliffe style blade option with either of them as well. A few different colors are currently available. It just hits so many boxes so nicely, and it's been hard to argue with the success this knife has had as well. It's been so successful, in fact, that they've actually recently introduced an automatic American-made version of this knife, and that's the first time in Kershaw's history where they've taken a successful overseas product and brought it to the States. Shows you exactly how compelling this knife has been. Now, honestly, there's a lot of crossbar locking folders in this price range that could get the nod. A few others, like the Real Steel Perix, I think has really similar vibes, but slicing geometry is not quite as good as on the Iridium, but still an awesome knife. The Kaiser Assassin, crossbar locking versions of this are also really nice, if a little bit more expensive. Those are just honorable mentions. We'll have a few more later, but you can't go wrong with any of them, quite honestly. Coming in at number 7, we've got the Petrified Fish Hourglass. This is another knife that feels more expensive than it is. It's only about 64 bucks. And to tell the truth, it's got the vibes of kind of what you would have expected to find on a custom, like a true custom folding knife from just a couple of decades ago. It's really, really nice. The shape itself is very cool, and the attention to detail is really nice too, and the materials are spot on and really elevate it beyond 64 bucks. 3.5 4-inch blade with K110 tool steel, which is a highly precise name brand D2, really cleanly ground. Titanium for the bolsters on the handle. This is the snakewood inlay version, but there's a couple different wood inlay options. It feels elevated. It feels like you could charge $100 for this knife and it wouldn't be out of bounds at all. It would still feel like it was well worth it. Deep carry pocket clip, ball bearings in the pivot, really nice flipping action. Liner lock on the inside so you get the full handle treatment on the back as well. It just looks like $1 million. Well, maybe not $1 million, but it looks like a lot more bucks than 64. Number 6, if you're shopping for a titanium frame lock, there's good reason for that. They're reliable and sturdy, but there's not a lot of options under $100. A few things come to mind, like the Defcon Barracuda, the Ontario TI-22, but at number 6, we're gonna go with the titanium frame lock versions of the QSP Penguin. The 154 cm steel is a more compelling steel than on those other titanium options in this price range, and the Penguin is an iconic folder in its own right, especially under the $50 price point, but these versions are a bit more expensive, coming in right now at about $97. Blade is just over 3 inches long, 154 cm, good solid stainless steel, as I mentioned, and it's got that nice aggressive sheep's foot style blade with a nice working style finish on it too with the stonewash. Slab-sided titanium, super, super lockup with the frame lock right there, and a milled titanium pocket clip as well, which is quite nice. Now, if you're looking for a frame lock flipper, this isn't it. We've just got thumb studs right here, still very easy to open and get to work. Coming in at number 5, we've got the SRM 255L. And it is here because SRM is kind of making old technology new again, and that is the folded steel construction you've got on this knife right here. Really nice. You've got, instead of connecting pieces, you've got a folded steel frame, as you know, mentioned in the name, gives it a nice bit of strength. And the way they've done it here with just a partial, as opposed to a full length fold here, is a supreme lightness and balance on this knife that you rarely find outside of really expensive stuff. It's about 2.5 ounces, so it's not ultra light, but it's pretty darn light, and the balance cannot be ignored. About $60 for the standard versions, 3.2-inch blade, 10CR series stainless, which is very good stuff indeed, especially for the price range. You've got sculpted G10 handles, really feel good in the hand. The action with the crossbar lock is really nice. I especially like the carbon fiber versions with the fancier blades at just under 100, but 60 bucks here. Actually, this is our least expensive knife on the table right now. And it's got a trick that we don't really see anywhere else, and that is the pinch style pocket clip. It is deep carry. It is not secured by any screws. Pinch like so, and then you can wiggle the clip out and switch it around. No tools required. Get it where you want, pop it back in, it clicks into place, and you're ready to go. Very cool feature there, very cool feature with the folded steel mechanism, and a great everyday carry design, even if you ignore those two features. So SRM is actually making this real steel Pyrex that we saw earlier, and you can see that folded steel frame even more on display there, but that's a longer frame, a heavier frame. The advantage of doing just this little bit, just the front half folded over on the 255L, is a really sublime balance and lightweight. All right, coming in at number 4, we have got the Vosteed Shilin cutter right now. They start at 99 bucks, and they feature the Vancor lock, which is a lock that operates like a button lock, but it's actually the pivot that you push on right there. Now, this is not the first button/pivot combination lock that has been on the market. There have been some for several years, in fact, but it is the one that's getting the most buzz right now, and for good reason, because it feels good, operates well, and it is very strong too. Now, this version right here is a slightly more expensive version with LMAX steel, but it's what we had on the shelf today when we were filming, so apologies for that. Just know that the $99 level, you got a 2.9-inch blade, 154 cm steel, really nice broad leaf shape with a crowned spine. That's just an extra nice feature as well. And the cutting geometry is going to be very nice, and the tip is nice and low, so you get the kind of a combination between a generic drop point and a Wharncliffe blade. You've got that downward point, very easy to use it, but you've got more belly to work with when you want to be a little more slicey. Handles are G10, or in this case on the more expensive version, aluminum. You've got a standard pocket clip here, not reversible, so it's a little less useful for lefties, so for that I apologize, but everything else about it is solid as can be. 3 opening methods too, so you can really kind of play around. Maybe 4, because you can push the button and just wrist flick it open or closed. You got thumb studs, you got a front flipper, and you've got that rear flipper to play with as well. All right, next up, number 3. And if you're a spec sheet shopper, you could pretty much stop right here. This is the knife you will want, or one of the knives you might want. And that is, you can actually get some MagnaCut steel under the $100 price point right now. We've got 2 to look at, only because we couldn't decide which one should get the nod. We've got the Ontario Rat 1.5 at about 95 bucks, and you've got the Best Tech, or the Best Tech Man Dundee. 2 blade shapes, and these run between 90 and 100 bucks right now. Now, the Dundee definitely feels more modern. You've got a 3.5-inch blade, clip point, or modified sheep's foot that you saw right there. Inset liner lock with G10 handles, a reversible, almost deep carry pocket clip, and you've got ball bearings in the pivot for that nice, modern, crisp flipping action that just feels so good. Nice and slim in the pocket as well, and is going to operate and work very nicely for you day to day. And then even though it's less modern, the 1.5 Rat model just has that proven track record of durability and success that is hard to argue with. Like, this is a proven tool, whereas the Dundee, while it feels great, is a newer tool. Do I think it's gonna break on you? No, but the track record of the Rat is hard to ignore. We've got a 3.25-inch blade here, slightly thinner blade stock with a full flat grind, so it's gonna be a little better slicer. G10 handles, 4-position pocket clips, so there's more variability there, and a liner lock there, and washers in the pivot. So it doesn't have that modern, same kind of snappy feel, but as you can see, it still flicks open quite easily with those thumb studs, and it might be even better for harder work than a ball bearing type pivot would be. Very, very nice. You could also get the standard Rat 1 for under $100 with an S35 VN blade, but the 1.5 with MagnaCut at that $95 price point is pretty sweet. So I guess the question now that we've seen both of these is, which one would you pick? Or rather, which one deserves to be at the number 8 spot? Or maybe we should kick something off earlier and both of these get their own spot. Anyway, Dundee or Rat 1.5? Let us know in the comments which one should take the cake. Now that I've shown you the knives, why would you want MagnaCut steel? Well, if you're new to the knife world, basically it is the most desirable, well-rounded stainless steel out there nowadays. It holds an edge very well. It is very tough as well, which most stainless steels don't get to be both of those at the same time by the nature of, metallurgy, basically. Now, while you can't get the same, or you don't get to enjoy the same benefits of the toughness on a folder like this as you would on a more durable fixed blade, it still is an important attribute, and to get it under $100, these are both great options. All right, now before we get to the final 2 picks, I want to throw just a couple honorable mentions at you. And basically the reason is these are brands that play in this price space that deserve recognition, but didn't quite make the cut. So real quick, we've got the CRKT Ritual. Wickedly awesome knife. Like the Petrified fish, it kind of has a bit of those old school custom vibes going on, but as awesome as it is, and it is, it's just not quite as practical as most of the, or any of the other stuff on the table. And that's really the only reason this knife didn't make the cut. Next up, Kaiser. Definitely worthy of attention in this price range. They make a ton of great options, but I want to show the Sheepdog right now, in addition to the Assassin we mentioned earlier. It's one of their longest running models. They keep iterating on it and doing new things and offering them at really cool prices. How cool is a pocket cleaver? In many ways, it's the knife that kickstarted that trend, and while that trend may have kind of ebbed a little bit since then, still awesome. Couple more, the Artisan Cutlery Accelerator, a Mike Snowdy design. It's a truly modern, big knife experience. There's not a lot of that out there at any price range. Well, most of them are at higher price ranges, but this is one of the few available under $100. It's also got a super interesting steel, RPM 9, which is sort of a spray form steel, kind of bridges the gap between traditional melted steels and modern powder metallurgy. It's even more interesting as some of the more affordable things in Artisan and their sister company CJRB's price range, but the Accelerator is just plain awesome. One last honorable mention on the bigger side, and that is the Kershaw Broadside. Newly released this year, we are really enjoying this as a larger crossbar locking knife. They come in about $80 right now. The features, the design are well adaptable to a lot of different uses, and it's just built really well. But when we're talking bigger hard use knives under $100, we gotta talk about cold steel. So here, coming in at number 2 on the list, is the Cold Steel Voyager. Here it is. They come in about $72 for the standard size, which is the large size. You got a 4-inch blade, AUS 10 stainless, which is very durable. It's not a powder metal, but it sits right at the top before you transition into that powder metal range, I would say. Several different blade shapes you can choose from, tantos, clip points, drop points, stuff more exotic even than that. You'll have to check out the link in the description for all of that. 4 inches of blade, and like the Ontario Rat that we talked about earlier, this knife has a proven track record and pedigree for hard work. It all comes down, honestly, to the triad lock here in the handle. It looks like a lockback, and you operate it like a lockback, but inside, under the hood, as they say, it is both stronger and more long-lasting than a classic lockback is, which is pretty cool. One more honorable mention, actually, and this is to contrast or compare as to why the Voyager won out over some other awesome sub-$100 cold steels, such as the light versions of the 8010 or 8015, or this Formax Scout right here, which starts at about the same price, actually. It's about $72 for this particular version, Both have 4-inch blades, both have AUS 10 steel, both have injection molded handles. The 4MAX Scout is bulkier. You've got thicker liners. Actually, the Voyager doesn't have liners at all. The 4MAX Scout is a big knife for people who like big knives. And yet the Voyager is a big knife that can get along with just about everyone. Anyone out there, I think, could appreciate this because it is a bit more manageable, quite honestly. It's only a 4.6 ounce knife compared to, well, what is that 4MAX Scout right there? A lot more than that in any case. This design just plain works. It works for a broad variety of things depending on which blade shape you choose. And even if this is too small, if you want bigger, if you want something truly like big cold steel, go for the XL version. It's only a couple bucks more. 5.5-inch clip point version right here is about 75 bucks right now. You get all of the same great stuff as the large version, just more of it. I don't know. I find that hard to argue with, so I'm gonna leave it at that. And last but not least, coming in at number 1, and let me just say, if you're not happy with the order I put these in, don't sweat it too much. They're all pretty great. But for the number 1 spot, we're gonna give it to the CIVIVI Vision FG for 2 reasons. One, CIVIVI is kind of the brand that is really leading the charge and kind of leading the market in this sub $100 price range due to their quality and consistency over these last several years. It's hard to ignore, but the Vision FG brings something just a bit more special to the table, especially this Damascus bladed version, which sits just under the $100 price point. But you can get them starting in the high 70s for versions with Nitro V blade steel, which is very cool stuff as well. But check out this ivory in Damascus, just super, super nice. About a 3.5-inch blade. You've got this modified sheep's foot profile. It's got some drop. You can work on a surface with it. It is slim enough to carry. You've got a reversible deep carry clip and a reversible dorsal style Snex lock right here, which is ambidextrous, gives you finger safe closing operation, and it's just fun, in addition to just being right there when you need it. At the end of the day, it just feels great. What else would be an honorable mention? The Baby Banter, the Elementum certainly, the Conspirator, so many great CIVIVI models you could check out. But if you're gonna check out just one, it should be the Vision FG right there. That's it for the list today, folks. Let me know what you thought. Did I get any of the rankings wrong? Probably. Let me know down in the comments. And let me know if there was some things that were left out you think deserved to be here. But in the meantime, if you want to get your hands on any of what you saw today, check out the links in the description, which will take you to KnifeCenter.com. And while you're over there, don't forget about our long-running Knife Rewards program, which means you get to earn some free money to spend on your future knives. I'm David C. Anderson from the Knife Center, signing off for now. See you next time.